Hello, world. What is up? Welcome to Build. I'm your host, Matt Forte, and we are here live at the Build Studio in New York City. Folks, we are almost there. In just 2 short weeks on December 19th, The Great Mary Poppins Returns. It's the name of the movie. See what I did there? There you go. I got a chance to see this last week, and I can't say enough good things about it. Literally, I can't. I'm pretty sure the embargo wasn't lifted yet. But I can tell you this movie is pure joy. And yes, Emily Blunt is about as close to perfect as you get, but it's not just her. Everyone in this film is delivering 110%, which is why I'm so excited for our next guest. You've seen him, Cloud Atlas. You've seen him in the legendary James Bond franchise as Q. You'll recognize him in his voice from Paddington, because he was Paddington, starting... This guy's done everything. That's just 3 of the a million amazing things he's done. And starting December 19th, you'll get to see him as Michael Banks, all grown up. But in the meantime, he's right here, right now. The great Ben Whishaw is in the building. How about that, people, huh? How we feel about Ben? Thank you. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. Perfect. We're going to bring him out in just a second. But before we do, we're going to take a quick look at the trailer for the film. So let's go ahead and run that clip.
I honestly can't remember why we kept most of this stuff to begin with.
Don't you remember that kite? We used to love flying that with Mother and Father.
Those days are long behind me.
As I live and breathe.
Mary.
Poppins, you came back.
You seem hardly to have aged at all.
Really? One never discusses a woman's age, Michael. Would have hoped I taught you better.
What brings you here after all this time?
Same thing that brought me the first time. I've come to look after the Banks children.
Us?
Oh, yes, you too.
We're about to lose our home. Everything's fallen to pieces since your mother.
I miss Mother.
Nothing's gone forever, only out of place.
It's a good thing you come along when you did, Mary Poppins.
How'd you do that?
Do what?
So you've been off filling the children's heads with stuff and nonsense.
You've forgotten what it's like to be a child.
Everything is possible.
Even the impossible.
Oh, it's so magical. Ladies and gentlemen, the great Ben Whishaw right here. Do it up. I was saying a lot of this backstage. I'm going to say again, congratulations. This film is a delight. It is absolutely wonderful. I got to see it last week. I'm excited to talk to you about it. How are you holding up? This is a big deal. It's a big movie, big process. Are you doing? You had a long day. How are you feeling?
Yes.
You're wearing it well. You look great.
Do I?
Yeah. Actually, can I tell you something? You do. You do look amazing, but I won't lie. I'm a little disappointed you didn't keep the mustache.
Oh, no.
No, come on.
No, I'm not a fan of a mustache.
You didn't like it?
No.
Was that a real mustache?
It was my own grown mustache, yes.
No.
Yeah. Is it mustache or mustache? Or how do you say that?
I've heard both. I've heard both. I feel like, how did you say it? Was it?
I think I'd say mustache.
Like everything else you're going to say for the next 20 minutes, infinitely sounds better.
Okay.
Infinitely. How long did you wait till you shaved it off? Right away?
Yeah, I like a beard, but I don't like a mustache. Interesting. Yeah.
So This didn't sway you one way or the other. That was it. You were very set in your ways. Yeah, you didn't like it. Well, congratulations again. I'm so happy you're here. You know, Friday you guys had the premiere. Is that right? Was it Friday it just happened? Or the big premiere, the world premiere?
God, I've lost all track of the days. I don't know. It happened at some point in the past.
Very recently, we can say, right?
Yes, yeah.
It's been a whirlwind for sure, but yeah, around this weekend, the word has gotten out. Like it's not just people that have seen it in little rooms in private. You've had the big premiere, social media, the floodgates are open, people are falling in love with it. I know the days have blurred together. Was that your first time seeing the film in full? Do you remember? Yeah.
No, I saw a rough cut in about January, but it was the first time that I'd seen everything completed. So the animation, there's this incredible 2D hand-painted animation, which in January hadn't been completed. So it was amazing to see that. Yeah.
You got to see that for the first time.
Yes.
You know, by now the story of John Krasinski's reaction has kind of everybody knows he bawled like a baby, as we all will when we watch this, rightfully so. Do you remember your emotional journey the first time you saw it all together? Did you have parts you were crying at? Is it hard for you to watch yourself?
Oh God, no, I didn't. I couldn't cry because it's too peculiar to see your own face up there. But I did enjoy it. I did. Yeah.
I do love the
Weird
idea of you sobbing at a giant image of your own head, though, right? Like that's weird.
That is weird. I would really be worried for my mental health if that was if I reacted like that. No, but I did. I could see that it was a beautiful film. You know.
Yeah. Have you always been that? Is it just in general, not just this film, but it's hard to watch yourself?
I don't like watching myself. No. I find it quite excruciating.
Is that because? Why is that? Is that because you're always second guessing stuff now? It's too late. It's
because
done.
you see all the things you should have done and didn't do, and it's too late to do again. So I find it quite not my favorite thing.
Yeah, it's not your favorite thing. You don't even see a value in almost like in the same way like a sports team will watch game day footage where it's like, oh, I see I missed up there. I could next time when I come back around.
Yeah, no, I see that's sort of useful. Yeah.
Still not for you. Not your thing.
No, but you do have to watch. You have to watch and face reality.
Yeah, no, it's a part of the gig.
Yes.
Well, let me ask you this: the reactions are overwhelmingly positive. It's about to come out in the wild. You're very close. Are you at a point in the process now? People are falling in love with it. Expectations all-time high. Can you exhale yet, or not until it's officially out? Is this all over?
I think on something like the 14th of December, I think I can exhale. And and sort of stop talking about Mary Poppins for forever.
Until she returns again.
Until she comes back again.
That's
a
very strong possibility, having seen this.
Yeah.
Let me ask you about the when you were making this, because you're no stranger to not a franchise really, but these iconic characters. Like I was saying in your introduction, we've seen you in the James Bond series. You got to voice Paddington the Bear, for crying out loud. You know, is there a way in which you navigate the external pressures of an overzealous and enamored fan base, or just the weight of the legacy of the character itself in the world? Does any of that play into when you're deciding to come on board for something? Is that something you have to sort of work around while you're making it?
In a way, you have to find you have to find a sort of indifference in yourself. You know, you have to sort of not care, and you have to trust your own instinct because, I mean, I've done lots of things that people have very strong opinions and ideas about, not just on film, but like in theatre and stuff. You play characters that many other people have played before you, so you sort of build up a muscle, I guess, that you turn the sound down on it. You just can't let it come too much into your head, and then you have to trust that you know what you're doing. Yeah. Did
you guys look like you're having a blast while you were making this film? Everybody is just having a great time on screen. Did this feel any different in terms of you shut those things out in the past? Was it easier to shut things out this go around? Maybe because of the people you had around you, maybe because of the property itself, or anything like that. Was there a tangible thing that was like, this is a little different than what I've done before?
Yeah, I mean, I think we had this amazing director, Rob Marshall, who was so kind and so inspiring and so meticulous in the way he worked that you couldn't really, you just trusted him implicitly, and that he was going to make a great film. Yeah. He was very determined, very driven. So that helped a lot. And someone like Emily and Lynn, actually, they're so confident, or appear to be. Yeah. I think they are, though, genuinely. And that lifts everyone along, you know. They just seize the moment, which is what you have to do. Yeah.
If they're not legitimately confident, what hope do we have as mere humans? What do we? As I was saying, everyone in this film's fantastic, and you guys all do such a great job. Emily Mortimer plays your sister in the film, and I forget, I don't know if it was on the red carpet or where it was, but you guys had talked, between takes. You guys, there was a lot of gossip and a lot of chatter between the two of you. What were those conversations like? Were you guys just passing time? Were you talking about your characters? What did you guys talk about while you were waiting for the camera to go?
Well, because it's such a beautiful world, the world of Mary Poppins, where everything is so lovely, really. We found that we were utterly filthy the minute completely filthy and disgusting the minute we stepped off. We just wanted to talk about lots of things that I won't talk about here.
Well, it is the internet.
Yeah.
You could say anything, however...
Yeah, I won't. It's a children's film.
It's a children's film.
Yeah.
Within this context, probably better we
Yeah.
don't. Yeah. That's hilarious. So the pendulum would swing the other way as soon as you guys were off.
Yeah, and we moaned. We moaned even though we were the luckiest people on the planet. Yeah.
Did you sit in that and acknowledge that, though, while you were moaning? You would say, I'm complaining about it, but of course, I'm in Mary Poppins' world. Like, I'm part of Mary Poppins, this universe now.
Yeah, it's done in good humor, if you see what I mean.
Of course. No, of course. I was mentioning this earlier, I hadn't seen... This is one of those movies that I had watched a ton when I was a kid. I had the tape. Everybody had the tape. You watch it over and over again. For no specific reason, I hadn't seen the original, I don't know, at least 15, 20 years since I was little. Mm. So in anticipation of the film, I threw it on, and it was crazy because I found myself... I was just like, oh, man... Mr. Banks is just trying to get the job done. He's just working his best. Like, I was connecting to the adults, which never happened to me before.
Yeah.
It was really scary.
Yeah.
Did you have a relationship with this film prior to being a part of Mary Poppins Returns? What was it like for you?
Well, one of the big reasons behind me wanting to do it was that I was obsessed with it as a child. I know I absolutely... I dressed up as Mary Poppins. I knew every single song. I'd performed it for anybody who would stop and watch. I was... it was the first thing that really kind of activated my imagination, and I think possibly even inspired me to want to act, if you see what I mean. Yeah. So it's really deep in my heart, this thing, Mary Poppins. So I couldn't resist it when I got asked to meet Rob. It was too strange that it came back into my life. Yeah. Too much of a coincidence. I had to say yes.
Let me go back to an earlier question and kind of reverse it here, asking about sort of blocking out the fans and all that. When you found out that Mary Poppins Returns was happening and that you could be a part of it, as someone for whom Mary Poppins was so significant and important, were you at all hesitant or protective or concerned?
Definitely, because it would have been appalling to me if we made a film that was not... I mean, you cannot not touch the first film, but you can hopefully make something that is like a companion piece to it and worthy of, that stands on its own. Yeah. And I feel we've done that. I feel proud, but I was fearful for sure, because it would have been awful to do that. But I felt, as I said earlier, I felt so confident in Rob and in everybody else who was involved. Yeah.
This is a silly question to make you think and have to answer, but is there a moment that stands out where that confidence kicked in? Was it a single meeting, a conversation? Was it Emily Blunt's going to do it too? Oh, Emily's on board. Like, was there a thing that you go, that's the thing, this might work, this is going to work?
I always knew that Emily Blunt would be amazing because she's amazing, full stop. Just tremendous actor. But I think there was a point we had like an 8-week rehearsal period, which for a film is really, really unheard of. Don't even get that for plays often. And I think towards the end of that rehearsal period, we had to do a presentation for Disney, when we all sort of sat round the piano and unplugged, did the songs, some of the songs, and then I thought, oh, this could be really, really great. I got a little tingle of something. Yeah.
Yeah, the energy in the room was just that moment in time. You were like,
Yeah. This feels genuinely like it's got magic in it. Yeah.
Where would you rank your? You have a beautiful song early on in the film that, in a movie designed to make people feel pure joy, it helps. It kind of increases the palette, if you will. It's a different kind of song, and it sets up, tells a lot of story, and it's really it's wonderfully performed and beautifully written. Where would you put your personal confidence level going in? I looked high and low, and I couldn't verify. Is this your first or like second time singing on camera?
Yeah. I sang in a film of The Tempest, which was a Shakespeare play that Julie Taymor made, but it wasn't a musical, you know. It was Shakespeare. So this was the first musical I'd ever done, and that feels different. Yeah.
Was there? Were you nervous at all going in, or no? Because you've done a lot of. This is your first musical, but you've tapped into versions of that skill set before, so you kind of knew what to activate.
Yeah. But still it felt somehow like something I hadn't done quite before. And Rob, again, was brilliant at that because he, helping me with that because he, I was worried, about things like hitting the note and stuff. Cause
singing.
Just singing. It's a big part of it. Yeah. But he was like, don't worry about the notes. And he was like, just don't worry about it even sounding nice. He said, just be the character. Just think about this guy and what's he thinking and what in this room and so it's like a continuation of his life. Right. And he said that's how you sing a song, and I thought that was brilliant advice, not to perform it so much. Right. Yeah.
Would you do that live in the moment and then go back and do multiple takes so you could hit the note? You wanted to get the performance and then what was that process like for you? Was that alien to you as well, or?
Well, yeah, but we had we'd pre-recorded all the songs.
Great.
And so part of the time we would just sing along to the track that they'd play. But then sometimes he'd put one of those things in my ear. Yeah. And so I had the timing, but I'd sing it live. And I think actually it's me singing live in the film.
Yeah, because it does, I mean, like 9 times out of 10, it all looks live. It's supposed to look live.
Yeah.
But like there's something about your performance and a lot of the performances in this, watching it, I was sitting there going, I was like, did they do this live? Because like the energy is there and there is a certain level of synchronicity that is hard to capture otherwise. It's great. I was thinking, this is a silly question, but of all the big franchise, you say Mary Poppins, James Bond, Paddington. I realize these are all iconic, like British franchises.
Yes.
Are you? Have you done Doctor Who? Is there anything else?
I'm doing that next.
Oh yeah.
No, I'm not. I'm not doing it next.
It just dawned on me while we were talking about it. I was like, those are all big they're all British. Is that by design?
No, completely random.
Yeah.
I mean, like everything in my life, everything, it all just, I'm as surprised as anybody. I didn't expect it to happen. But obviously it's an amazing privilege to be a part of that kind of thing that people actually watch, Yeah.
Yeah, it's always nice when you do a thing and people watch it.
It's nice to be,
We're gonna throw to the audience just a second. We got a couple of questions, but what's harder, watching yourself perform or hearing yourself sing?
Neither are
perfect. Let's go ahead and roll the clip. We've got but no, I'm kidding. We don't have. I wouldn't do that to you. That'd be so mean. Thank you. All right, let's go to the audience. We got a couple of questions out there. The first one's going to come from right over here. Come on down.
Hi, Ben. Thanks
Hello.
for coming, especially after your whirlwind past few days. So I was wondering, since you've talked and you just spoken about it, but you've talked about how much this film means to you and has since a child. Was there any moment in the film when you were watching it recently for the first time where you suddenly felt transported back to the child you and it kind of hit you that this is what you're offering today's young audiences?
Well, I was aware of that the whole time, really, but in a way that was what I felt most passionately about. That I wanted it to be, if I could be in something that would make young people now feel what I felt. That was really always the thing that was keeping my mind on, But I can't remember a particular moment when I felt it because unlike the character in the film, I can't really remember what it was like to be 4 years old. I think I don't have, I admire those people that do have that childlike thing, but I think I don't have that. Yeah,
Or were you
exactly.
diverting your eyes as you were watching yourself down there?
I've got better at what, you just face it. But I squirm a bit, yeah. Because you never look or sound how you think you look or sound. Sadly.
Which is a real bummer.
It's a real shame. Yeah.
We're going to go to our next question in
Thank
a
you.
second. Thank you so much for that. But just to the end of sort of processing the gravity of what you were doing, in between the takes, in between you and Emily Mortimer cursing like sailors to have some kind of release, were you poking around the set and just exploring the fact that this world was now real?
Yeah, I
there,
did.
for all the cool, for the incredible 2D animation sequence, also just the recreation
It's
of
beautiful.
the house is gorgeous.
Yeah, it is. It's amazing. I did poke around, and and it was wonderful, because they for instance had little tiny photograph portraits of our parents on the mantelpiece. Just there's no close up of them. You don't even see it, but they were there, and it was beautiful. So it felt very rich, very real. Yeah.
Okay, we've got two more. Next question is coming from right over here. Go for it.
Hi, what was it like reinventing and continuing on such a classic character like Michael Banks, especially because you were such a big fan of the film, the original?
I suppose, in a way, I just decided I have to make it my own. I have to find it in myself. For better or worse, it's going to be my creation. So I watched, as we said, the first one again, actually mainly to sort of study the actors who played the parents, who I think give amazing performances. They're really, really special and very skilled. So I watched it for them, and also to think about what would this boy have grown into if he had parents like that. So... And then there was so much on the page that was just, the writing was so good. I think people sometimes underestimate or undervalue that. But if it's written there, you got a gift. You're already running, kind of thing. Yeah.
It's a great question. Thank you. We've got, was that one more? We're going to do one more question, and it is coming from right here. Go for it.
Oh, hi.
Hello.
I'm a big fan of your work. I've seen you on stage and a lot of your films and TV. I was wondering what part has been your most challenging role, do you think? And also, how do you decide when you get a script, oh, I really need to do this part, I really want this part? What makes you decide that?
What's been the most challenging? Well, I did a play here 2.5 years ago, a play called The Crucible by Arthur Miller. In which I felt completely miscast. Well, I was completely miscast, but I was so determined to do it, and I was having anxiety attacks about it before I could admit that now. I really was. I thought I right up until we opened, I thought I can't do it. There's no way, and I did do it, and I did it for 20 weeks, and I felt very proud of myself. Yeah. So that was probably I feel very chuffed about that. And what do I feel when I think, for me, when I take a part, if I have to think too much, I probably won't do it. It's pretty, it's instant for me. And it's in the instinct. And it's to do with kind of what, often I would like to do something different to the last thing I did. And just often a feeling like, oh yeah, I feel like I've got something to offer with this character. Do you see what I mean? Yeah.
And that's a great question. To what degree, if at all, does stage versus screen factor into that decision-making process for you? Or is it purely about the character that you'll get to be? And
No,
the story
I like to jump from one to the other. Yeah. Because they're really different in terms of how you have to use your energy and your creativity and everything. So I like the to and fro. Yeah.
I really, man, I can't thank you enough. We're going to wrap it up, but I'm really happy you came by and hung out with us
such
for a
a
little
pleasure.
bit.
So nice
I
to
thought you
talk
had
to
a good time, man.
Yeah,
That's great.
thank you.
Thank you so much. I'll remind the world, of course, that Mary Poppins returns the 19th, guys, like 2 weeks. It's going to be a fantastic ride. I'm telling you, this movie is pure joy, so don't miss it. I know you're not going to, but I'm just telling you, don't miss it. And I think the soundtrack, I think, is next week as well, and that's tons of fun. So a lot of great stuff going on. And Ben, anything else you want to plug while you're here before we get out of here?
No.
Anything else? No.
But please go and see the film. It really is. I think it's a pleasure.
It absolutely is. I could not agree more. Everybody, please make a ridiculous amount of noise. Join me in thanking the great Ben Wishart.